Welcome to Official Sigma Male, where we decode the subtle behaviors that separate extraordinary men from the ordinary. I'm about to reveal 8 strange habits that instantly expose a Sigma male, behaviors that might seem bizarre to the average person, but serve as powerful tools for those operating outside traditional hierarchies. The Sigma male, a rare breed of man who exists outside conventional social structures, yet wields immense personal power. Unlike alphas who lead the pack or betas who follow, sigmas chart their own course, leveraging unique psychological advantages that few recognize and even fewer understand. These 8 habits may appear strange, even counterproductive to those trapped in conventional thinking, but to the discerning eye, they reveal a man operating with superior awareness and strategic intelligence. By the end of this video, you'll be able to instantly identify these behavioral patterns, whether you're spotting a fellow Sigma or recognizing these qualities awakening within yourself. If you value true independence and psychological sovereignty over shallow social validation, hit that subscribe button now. This channel exists to provide actionable insights for men who refuse to be constrained by outdated social programming. Men who are ready to harness their authentic power without seeking permission or approval. Subscribe now to join a community of men committed to excellence on their own terms. Now, let's dissect these revealing Sigma habits, starting with one of the most misunderstood: strategic solitude. In the bustling social landscapes where most men desperately seek validation, the Sigma male retreats into calculated solitude. This isn't mere introversion. It's a deliberate choice to preserve mental energy and maintain focus. You'll notice a Sigma man frequently disappearing from social gatherings without announcement or declining invitations without elaborate excuses. He values his alone time not from social anxiety, but because he recognizes solitude as the breeding ground for his greatest ideas and strongest self-development. When others frantically check their phones for social media notifications, the Sigma sits comfortably in silence, often for hours, engaged in deep work or contemplation. This capacity for comfortable solitude intimidates those who cannot bear their own company. Look for the man who doesn't fill every moment with noise or distraction. He's likely operating on the Sigma frequency. Consider historical figures like Nikola Tesla or modern entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, who reportedly spent days in isolation during crucial development phases of their innovations. This strategic withdrawal isn't withdrawal at all. It's calculated advancement. Selective communication. While most men speak to fill silence or establish social presence, the Sigma communicates with surgical precision. You'll notice he rarely engages in small talk, often responding with brief, direct statements that others might perceive as rudeness. This isn't social awkwardness, it's calculated efficiency. The Sigma understands that words are currency, and he refuses to inflate their value through overuse. In group settings, watch for the man who speaks infrequently but commands complete attention when he does. His statements often redirect entire conversations, not through volume or aggression, but through the weight of carefully chosen words. Steve Jobs exemplified this trait perfectly, reportedly remaining silent in meetings for extended periods before delivering perspective-shifting insights that altered the course of discussions. This selective communication extends to digital interaction as well. While others compulsively respond to messages within minutes, the Sigma often delays responses for hours or even days. He's not playing games. He's prioritizing his mental bandwidth over others' expectations for immediate accessibility. The next time you encounter a man who speaks little but says much, who seems unbothered by communication delays that would cause others anxiety, you're likely witnessing a Sigma's strategic communication at work. Pattern-breaking routines. One of the most telltale signs of a Sigma male is his unpredictable, yet highly intentional daily patterns. While society rewards consistency and routine, the Sigma deliberately introduces controlled chaos into his schedule. He might work intensely for 16 hours one day, then disconnect entirely the next. He might train at 4 a.m. for a week, then switch to midnight workouts without explanation. This isn't flakiness or lack of discipline, quite the opposite. The Sigma understands that predictability creates vulnerability, while strategic unpredictability keeps both mind and body in a state of productive adaptation. Legendary martial artist Bruce Lee embodied this principle with his famous quote, "Be water, my friend, embracing formlessness as strength." Look for the man who refuses to be pinned down to conventional schedules, who seems to appear and disappear at unexpected intervals, yet consistently produces exceptional results. His colleagues may complain about his unpredictable availability, even while acknowledging his unmatched productivity. This pattern breaking extends beyond work hours. You might notice a Sigma maintaining unusual eating patterns, sometimes fasting for extended periods, other times feasting abundantly. He doesn't explain these choices because they aren't social decisions. They're personal optimizations, independent of social norms. Controlled emotional investment. Perhaps the most misunderstood Sigma trait is his careful regulation of emotional investment. In a world where men are encouraged either to suppress emotions entirely or to perform vulnerability for social approval, the Sigma takes a third path: strategic emotional allocation. You'll notice a Sigma man rarely displays strong emotions over minor setbacks or victories. He reserves his emotional bandwidth for truly significant matters, appearing unusually calm during crises that send others into panic. This isn't emotional unavailability, it's emotional intelligence taken to its logical conclusion. When others become caught in emotional contagion during group settings, watch for the man who remains centered, neither pulled into artificial excitement nor dragged into collective anxiety. His emotional state seems independent of those around him, not because he doesn't feel, but because he chooses when and how to invest his emotional energy. Consider how figures like former Navy SEAL Jocko Willink respond to adversity with their trademark good philosophy, accepting challenges without emotional resistance, then channeling that energy productively. This emotional self-regulation is often mistaken for coldness, when in reality it's one of the Sigma's most powerful tools for maintaining internal sovereignty. The Sigma understands what few men grasp, that emotional reactions are choices, not obligations. By controlling when and where he invests emotionally, he maintains his center of gravity, while others are easily toppled by external circumstances. Resource minimalism. While consumer culture pushes men to accumulate status symbols and possessions, the Sigma male displays a strange detachment from material excess. This isn't poverty mindset, it's strategic minimalism. The Sigma understands that possessions quickly transform from tools into obligations, requiring maintenance, protection, and emotional attachment. You'll recognize this habit when you notice a clearly capable and successful man who owns remarkably few items, but those items are carefully selected for maximum utility and quality. His living space often appears sparse by conventional standards, lacking the decorative clutter most used to signal identity or status. Take the example of former Apple executive and billionaire investor Steve Jobs, whose home was famously minimalist despite his vast wealth. When asked about his sparse furnishings, he explained that each item had been carefully considered, often taking months to decide on a single piece. The Sigma extends this minimalism to his personal presentation as well. Notice the man who wears variations of the same functional quality outfit rather than constantly changing styles to match trends. This isn't laziness, it's elimination of decision fatigue. By creating personal systems that reduce trivial choices, he preserves mental energy for consequential decisions. This resource minimalism often confuses status-oriented individuals who cannot understand why someone with means would choose simplicity over display. They miss that the Sigma's power comes not from what he accumulates, but from what he strategically eliminates. Psychological distance. The Sigma male maintains a distinct psychological buffer between himself and others, even those closest to him. This habit manifests as a noticeable pause before responding to questions, a tendency to observe group dynamics before engaging, and a general resistance to being fully psychologically captured in any interaction. You'll spot this trait in the man who seems simultaneously present yet slightly removed from social situations, fully engaged when speaking directly, yet quick to reclaim his mental space when the exchange concludes. This isn't arrogance or disinterest, it's psychological sovereignty. Historical examples abound, from Abraham Lincoln's famous contemplative pauses before responding to questions, to modern figures like Keanu Reeves, whose interviews reveal a man clearly present yet maintaining careful boundaries around his inner world. This psychological distance extends to how the Sigma processes praise and criticism. While others are emotionally hijacked by external opinions, the Sigma treats both as potentially useful information rather than emotional triggers. Watch for the man who neither deflects compliments with false modesty nor defends against criticism with immediate justification. Instead, he acknowledges both with equal detachment, filtering for value rather than emotional reaction. In a world where most men are psychologically entangled with those around them, their emotional states rising and falling with external feedback, the Sigma's psychological distance appears strange, yet powerful. It's the habit that allows him to remain internally directed while others are externally controlled. Strategic non-compliance. Perhaps the most revealing Sigma habit is his selective disregard for social conventions that don't serve his purpose. While rebellion for its own sake is adolescent, the Sigma's non-compliance is strategic and purposeful. He follows rules and customs that align with his values or serve practical purposes, while quietly disregarding those that don't, without seeking attention for his divergence. You'll notice this trait in the man who skips unnecessary meetings, without apology, ignores dress codes that serve no functional purpose, or declines traditional career paths despite pressure to conform. This isn't rebelliousness, it's pragmatic efficiency. Consider how Richard Feynman, Nobel Prize-winning physicist, famously picked locks in Los Alamos during the Manhattan Project. Not as rebellion, but out of genuine curiosity about security. Flaws. His non-compliance wasn't about breaking rules, but about questioning assumptions others blindly accepted. The Sigma's non-compliance extends to social expectations as well. He might remain single despite societal pressure, work unconventional hours, or pursue unusual interests without seeking validation. Look for the man who makes these choices quietly, without announcement or justification. That's the Sigma's signature. This strategic non-compliance often creates friction with authority figures who sense a challenge to their control, even when none is intended. The Sigma isn't opposing authority, he's simply operating according to his own internal compass rather than external direction. Paradoxical self-disclosure. The final and perhaps most confounding Sigma habit is his paradoxical approach to self-disclosure. Unlike the open-book extrovert or the completely guarded introvert, the Sigma employs a calculated pattern of revelation and concealment that keeps others perpetually uncertain about where they stand. You'll recognize this trait in the man who might share profound insights about universal principles, yet reveal almost nothing about his personal life. Or conversely, he might offer specific personal details while keeping his deeper values and motivations completely private. This isn't manipulative game-playing, it's boundary management. Consider how former President Barack Obama wrote deeply personal memoirs while maintaining remarkable privacy around his current thinking and decision-making processes. Or how Tesla CEO Elon Musk can tweet prolifically about ideas while keeping truly personal matters carefully guarded. This paradoxical self-disclosure creates an interesting effect. People feel they know the Sigma while actually knowing very little about what truly matters to him. He might explain his methodology in detail while never revealing his ultimate objectives. He might discuss past experiences openly while keeping future plans entirely private. Watch for the man who leaves conversations having learned much about others while revealing little of consequence about himself, not through obvious evasion, but through subtle redirection and selective engagement. This isn't deception, it's asymmetric information management. The Sigma understands intuitively what most never grasp, that in a world of oversharing, judicious privacy is power. By controlling what others know about his true thoughts, feelings, and intentions, he maintains freedom of movement that those living in transparency cannot access. This strange habit often frustrates those seeking emotional intimacy through mutual disclosure. They sense they're receiving less than they're giving, yet cannot pinpoint exactly how or why. The Sigma doesn't withhold to create distance, but to maintain the sovereignty necessary for authentic connection on his own terms. Of all the Sigma habits, this paradoxical self-disclosure may be the most sophisticated and difficult to master, because it requires not just controlling information, but creating the genuine impression of openness, while actually revealing very little of strategic significance. These 8 strange habits might seem contradictory or counterproductive to those operating by conventional social scripts. The strategic solitude might appear antisocial. The selective communication might seem aloof. The pattern-breaking routines could be mistaken for inconsistency. Yet together, they form a coherent system that allows the Sigma male to maintain personal sovereignty while navigating a world that constantly demands conformity. These aren't behaviors to imitate superficially. They emerge organically from the Sigma mindset of independent thinking and purposeful living. They are the external manifestations of internal clarity. If you've recognized these traits in yourself, you've likely always felt like an outsider in conventional male hierarchies, not because you couldn't succeed within them, but because you instinctively sensed their limitations. This channel exists for men like you. Subscribe to Official Sigma Male now to join a community that values depth over display, substance over status, and authentic power over social performance. Unlike mainstream content that caters to insecurity, we provide actionable insights for men committed to excellence on their own terms. Our next video will reveal the hidden psychological advantages that Sigma males leverage to succeed where others fail. Strategies that the social majority will never understand or discuss. Hit subscribe, enable notifications, and continue your journey toward personal sovereignty and true fulfillment. Until next time, guard your mind, preserve your energy, and stay true to your path.